Welcome back for part two. We're talking to an amazing medium who has a long history of dealing with the unseen, and she's able to channel Mother Moya. It's also called the Great Mother, and it's guidance that is helping her face challenges and you. And if you have a need, you can contact this lady and have your own personal um, consultation with her. But as we were talking just before the break, you're listening to Douglas James Cottrell and this lovely woman here. Let me see. I was going to pronounce it again, but it's Jennifer Longmore here. But I'm just going to say the Great Mother because I'm
Yes,
sometimes my own
that
tongue.
is okay. Yes. Yeah.
Here. So as we were talking just before the break, there are many people who are worried and even afraid that they're going to contact something on the dark side, or if people come to you for a consultation and realize you have years of experience and track record and credibility, there
Yes.
is a certain fear about getting in contact with, as I said before the break, the people that live in the basement rather than people that live in the penthouse. How do you have
Yes.
how to reassure your clients about that?
Oh, well, thank you. I just also want to say too, I talk a lot about the penthouse and the lobby in my own, yes, we use a similar thing. I talk about the lobby being the monkey mind, and or objections and when people are wanting to be in the muck. And of course, wonderful things grow in the muck. But the penthouse is where we have the 360 vantage point. And many of us will take the elevator up, but we'll stop and we'll just hang out in the elevator deciding, do I want to be more loyal to the lobby or I want to be more loyal to the penthouse? But yes, to answer your question, well, I don't offer consultations because I have done well over 30,000 readings, so I'm kind of past that. But I do have a membership where I transmit timeless channeled messages. And I'm in a place where uh, I honor people's sovereignty. So I let them decide whether they want to believe it, they want to believe it. I often, over the years, will get asked, well, what about the Mormons in Utah? How do you get the Akashic records to them? I said, well, nobody likes someone knocking door to door, preaching their religion, you know. When people are ready for it, they will kind of find it. But uh, the more seasoned light leaders tend to be very relieved when they meet me because they recognize me as very familiar. And the reason why this is important is because you see, I am a great steward of the bee. The bee is the highest form of consciousness on the planet. And in Greece, they named the bee after me called the Malia bee.
Hmm.
And then they also named an island after me, and then they named a palace after me. But yet you cannot find much about me in the history books. And so people will say, I've never heard of Mother Malia. I say, well, the better question to ask is, why haven't you heard of Mother Malia when you know that the controllers decide what history is shared and what history is not shared? And so there is a recognition on, I will just say for ease, a cellular level that people just kind of know. But yes, because there is so much distortion on this planet, it is common for people to say, oh, she is mentally unwell. I hope I don't become like her. Or she is channeling Satan, or she, all of the different, or she is a charlatan. I say, well, then we've got a lot of work to do because when we clear everyone's channel for them to be able to feel into whether an energy is legitimate or not, we're going to be able to feel much more confident in making decisions. But that is really just someone the real opportunity is for someone to learn how to trust their own channel so that when they are choosing an insurance company, when they are choosing a bank, when they are choosing a therapist, when they are choosing whoever, that they feel good about the decision that they're making.
Yeah, I find those people that are uh, let's say snap judgments about things are really on the elementary level, and they just don't know, and
Yes.
then they have their own awakening at some point, and oh my God, then they become a Bible thumper, as they say. You know, there's channeling works, there's intuition works, and things like that. So,
Yes.
but it is something that everybody approaches when you're approaching the unknown. But as you
Yes.
demonstrate, you have a long history of helping people.
Yeah.
Uh, I want to ask you, when people learn how to do the Akashic records, can you talk a little bit about how people, uh, well, more exactly, what can they expect to find when they go into the Akashic?
Oh, yes. Thank you for asking that. Oh goodness. Well, I like to call it an infinite university. Like you can never get it. There's far too much information there for ever to ever even remotely get 1% of what is in the Akashic record. But it is the record of, I will just say, all energy through all time. That would just be the easiest way to say it. And so the reason we will go into our record is to find out, well, why did I come back to Earth? And what am I here to master? What am I here to contribute? What unresolved aspects are asking to be shifted so that I can have a greater ascension, I shall say, I suppose. Just being more, how can I be more in the true nature of who I am? We can uncover why we have chronic health issues that can't be answered, why we chose the parents we did, uh, what, just, oh goodness, so much. But it has a lot of practical application, but it is giving the information based on you as a soul. Here's what's relevant to you right now so that you live the most flowing path as possible. Of course, we never do though, do we? Because we have a need to, we're so heavily programmed to work hard for the sake of working hard that we tend to make things harder than they need to be. But the reason we will access the Akashic records is to try to make this human experience a little bit easier while we are here.
So when they go to the Akashic, it's a matter of having a question or
Yes.
concern, and then they go to, and again, the Akashic records have to be like the biggest filing cabinet in the universe, and you're trying to find
Yes.
one page on that filing cabinet. So they can go there and through your teachings or your direction, they can go and they can find that one page.
Yes, exactly. With the help of the guides, of course, because the record keepers are very ascended beings whose job it is to catalog that very big filing cabinet and then to go to that exact file and say, hello, human, here's the information that you need based on the question that you are asking and based on what you are ready to hear right now. And so, yes, you're absolutely right. So what I do is I teach people how they uniquely channel because everyone channels differently. Everyone has a different part of the body that they channel through. Everyone has a different channeling ability, I will say. Some people are able to access all of their clairs, so to speak, the claircognizance, clairaudience, etc. Some people have one that's sort of their primary and how to the most important piece is okay, fine, I got the information, but what am I going to do with it? So really helping people uh, know how to use it as a tool so that it is actually useful. Otherwise, it's just another modality that someone trained in that has limited usefulness for them.
Well, tell us a little bit uh, about the helpers, the entities, and you know, um, the Great Mother is channeling through you. And of course, people are saying, well, when you're awake, where does she go? Of
Yes,
course, there's no time and there is no day and nighttime over there. So there's, in my opinion, anyway, it's always there. It's when you're available more exactly. But
yes,
a little bit about the mechanics of that. Who are these keepers of the records, and do you
yes,
have permission, or as you teach people
yes,
this Akashic record search, just very briefly, because how do people
yes,
get there? How do they get to say, I want to find out you know,
yes.
why I'm such a short person, why I'm such a tall person, or
Oh, yes. Well, the first thing is the person will want to be in a place of neutrality, ideally, and not going in from a place of panic or anxiety or being very attached to the outcome, and going into some sort of peaceful state, staying very lucid. By the way, I will not recommend going into meditation, etc. We want to be lucid enough to hear the information so that it is useful. And we might say, hello, record keeper. I'm just making this up on the spot because everyone will do it their own way. Hello, record keepers. I would like to access my Akashic records now. Please provide me information in my high for my highest good on this part of my journey. And then we will go right in and ask a question. Why do I have this chronic digestion issue that doesn't seem to go away no matter how many pills and doctors, etc., that I go to see? And often we're not going to be getting the answer that we want to hear, but we're going to be getting the answer that we need. And that is going to be translated by whatever ascended masters are tasked to support that individual on their journey in opening up their records. Because to answer your question, the Akashic record keepers have contracted to play that role. That is a very important role in the cohesion of the entire universe, I will say for ease. And so each of us plays our part, just like I am here to restore the original codes. I am here to reclaim the planet. I'm here to restore heaven on earth, so to speak. I'm here to help the light leaders be fully resourced so that they can spread their mission. That is my contract for humanity. And also to be the steward of the bees and other such things, of course. The record keepers, for example, will be in non-physical form, and they were their sole mission is to be, I will say for ease, a protector of this, infinite filing cabinet, to make sure there are no distortions getting in there, and to make sure that not anyone can willy-nilly read, for example, my Akashic record without my permission, for example. So it is almost like a very sacred diary that has an etheric lock and key that either our record keepers will read for us, or someone will come to someone like, let's say, you or I, and say, hey, will you please read my records for me? Because I feel like I'm just a little bit too close, or I don't quite trust myself to get the answers I need. Would you mind reading my records for me? And then once we are done, it's almost like the memory will get wiped away from the person whose record it is not. People will often say to me, oh, years ago, you told me da 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 da, and I'll say, okay, sure, I don't remember, and that's how you know you are channeling, that when you are not remembering people's personal information.
Well, that's a good answer. I think that there's an integrity, and when listening to you, the thought occurs to me to say, even before you go to ask the question, they
Yeah.
already know what you're going to ask,
Oh, yes.
provided.
Yeah.
So there's not really too much of trying to figure out how can I ask the question. It's like just go and be frank, right? Because they know what
Yes.
they know.
Yes, and they've led you there because it's time to get the information. And oftentimes people will say, "Oh, yes, that feels right," or "I already knew that," because yes, the higher part of the consciousness already knows, but the human has to go for the session basically to be able to hear what other aspects of them already know.
Oh, sure. I mean,
Yeah.
we need to know these things. We need to know these things like an exploratory way. I'm not trying to dismiss this like we need to know these things, but only
Yeah.
when they become important for us to know. Like I don't particularly care to know too much about fusion or fission or the difference. I don't care at all. I'm disinterested. But I
Yes.
know, ABC. I
Yeah.
was going to say, people come and they sometimes say, "Why is it I can't make money? How come I'm poor?"
Yes. Yes.
Obviously, there's something that they don't know. I've never
Yes.
had anybody in my life come and complain to me that they're making too much money.
Yes, yes, exactly. Money is I will say, the number two question I get asked over the years. The first question being, what is my purpose? The second question is, how come I don't have the money I want? The third is, where is my person, so to speak? Where is my divine life partner? And or is the person I'm with my divine life partner, but something to do with romantic partnership? It doesn't matter how awake and aware someone is. It doesn't matter how seasoned someone is with energy. They still will have those three primary questions as the focus. Yeah.
And they all come down to the person asking doesn't know something.
Yes.
They glean some guidance or direction from the Akashic. They
Yes.
can change whatever behavior they're doing now and find out what they need to know. At least that's my experience. And once they get that little bit of knowledge,
Yes.
I, I I'll ask you, when people get intuition, they don't give you the whole truckload. They give you a teaspoonful at a time, don't they?
Yes. Yes. They don't want it to feel like a donkey kick to the face. Yeah.
So you have to take your steps. And so people approaching the Akashic, would you agree they get a little bit at a time, just enough to digest it,
Yes.
progress? Just
Yes.
as people ask those questions, they say, tell me the beginning of the universe and say, why?
Yes.
We told you
Yes.
to understand it anyway. So
That's exactly it. They will always disseminate information to the degree the person has the ability to hear it and receive it and integrate it. If it is going to go over their head, so to speak, they will give it to them in a way that they can digest. And then when they're ready for the next level, they can keep going back and back and back. Yeah.
Okay, you've written this amazing book called Daily Messages from Mother Moya, the Great Mother. It's
Yeah.
available on Amazon, and the Akashic Records Oracle card deck and guidebook is also available on Amazon.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and how can people get a hold of your courses or more about if they want to know more about what you do?
Well, right now they can go to souljourneys.ca. It is .ca because I am in Canada. So just in case the autocorrect changes it to .com, it's not going to take you to my site. But that is where we have the list of various ways that they can be supported on their journey.
And again, say it again. The website is.
Souljourneys.ca. Yes, it's not so easy for me to enunciate anymore. You know?
You got it here, and it's on the YouTube show, and all the other social media will be on. Hold that thought. We'll be right back.